Hello and welcome to this podcast. I'm Roger Furman from the UK Association for Accessible Formats, and we are delighted to welcome Fiona from Visionary. Fiona, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, Roger. Yeah, I'm really happy to do that. So yes, as you said, I'm Fiona Sanford. I'm lucky enough to be the Chief Executive of Visionary, which is an organisation primarily for local sight loss organisations across the UK.
Great to have you, Fiona. Could you tell us something about the history of Visionary, how it was founded and why?
I can tell you a bit about it, Roger, but a lot of the history predates my time with Visionary, so apologies if I don't get this entirely right. So Visionary was founded over 20 years ago now as NALSV, as it was then, which was the National Association for Local Societies for Visually Impaired People. And I think I've got that right, but it doesn't exactly trip off the tongue. So apologies if I haven't. And I think the idea behind it was to provide a forum which allowed and facilitated networking opportunities between people who are employed in local organisations, which is still what we do now, but we do it in a very different way and probably in a more extensive way. But the founding principle was very much around providing the opportunity for people who worked in local sight loss organisations to come together.
It's really important. Thank you. I wonder if you could talk about the structure and governance of Visionary so we get a better understanding of how you work as an organisation.
Yes, we're a tiny staff team, but I like to think we're tiny but perfectly formed. So we're a very small team now of 6, as from yesterday, 6. We have a trustee board who are volunteers. So our structure, Roger, is we have a board of trustees and we have staff who sit under those. I report to the trustees, the staff team report to me. That's basically, it's a very simple structure.
Yes, it's often a good idea to keep structures as simple as possible.
Yeah, we recently converted to an ICO. So, or a CIO. I always get that round the wrong way, but yeah, that's our legal structure, if you like.
Yes, yeah. I think it's a CIO, but anyway, it's getting all these things right. You bring together local societies. Could you give us a flavour of the range and breadth of what they provide for their clients?
Yes, well, they range. Anybody who's had any contact with their local sight loss organisations will probably be aware that they vary greatly in size and scale and scope. So most of them provide opportunities for the people who use their services, blind and partially sighted people, to come together in some shape or form, and that can be a recreational opportunity, sporting opportunity, teaching something, or just get together. So most of them do that. A lot of them also provide contracted services in partnership with their local authorities. So they may provide rehab, they might provide habilitation for children, they might provide the social work service. There's a whole range of services that are provided under contract. They also may have a presence in their local hospital. So they might provide the ECLO service, they might call that something different, it might be patient support, they might have a referral system from the hospital into the local organisation. They may hold the register, the blind and partially sighted registers. So they really, some have care homes, Roger. They vary hugely in what they do. But what we define a member, a Visionary member, as is anyone who has a geographically bound area in which they provide these services. We also have our partners who are organisations that provide services on a UK-wide basis. People like Guide Dogs, RNIB, Blind Veterans UK, Thomas Pocklington Trust, that type of organisation.
So from what you said, it is a very wide range, isn't it?
Yes, it really is. I mean, there's some very small organisations and there's some very large organisations, but I think what they all have in common is the local members are community based. They're in touch with blind and partially sighted people who live locally and provide services that are tailored to the community where they live.
From what you observe, can you point to current challenges that local societies face in this ever-changing world?
So, Roger, yes, I think probably the biggest one is similar to that faced by anybody, which is the economic situation. The financial position that lots of local organisations find themselves within is very challenging. Raising money, generating income in order to keep services going has always been a challenge, but perhaps more so now. The cost of living crisis is really hitting people hard, and we know from the various campaigns that if you have a disability, then the cost of living is harder hitting than it is if you haven't. So local sight loss organisations are trying to reach that challenge, and that's a very difficult thing for them. Also, there's a bit of a recruitment crisis. Finding staff is a bit of a challenge just now. Just any kind of challenge that any other type of business is facing just now. The rising cost of fuel has been an issue, particularly for our members who deliver care homes. Keeping people warm, and a lot of them have adapted to provide warm spaces for people to come into once or twice a week. So obviously that's an additional cost for local organisations. Currently lots of our members are getting behind the proposed changes to close ticket offices in England. So that's of anything that impacts on blind and partially sighted people will impact on the organisations that are there to serve them.
Very true. You've spoken about the really major difficulties, very realistic difficulties. But putting that together, how do you see the future in terms of perhaps the opportunities?
Well, do you know, Roger, I am an eternal optimist. So I just always see opportunity in every situation. And I think the opportunity that Visionary creates is the opportunity for people to come together. Just this morning, I've been in a rehab forum. We deliver a wide range. If anybody looks on our website, you'll see the range of online offerings that we have for local sight loss in fact, for national partners as well. For anybody that's a member or a partner of Visionary can attend our online programme of events. And the rehab one this morning is for people employed delivering rehab or habilitation. And the purpose of that group is just to come together to share experiences. So for example, this morning, people were sharing how to access kit, what equipment is provided by your local authority, and sharing that information from a UK-wide perspective. And I think just having that opportunity to come together, collaborate, so as organisations are not reinventing the wheel, our fundraiser forum comes together, shares hints and tips for generating income. Our leaders forum comes together and shares what people are doing. So I think the opportunity and what Visionary can do to create opportunity is provide an opportunity for people to talk, for people to share information and to collaborate and to come together.
Fiona, may I thank you most sincerely for sharing your perspective with us. I know we will all wish you well with the important and valuable work being done by you and your colleagues in Visionary. Thank you.
Roger, thank you so much. And thank you so much for inviting me. I look forward to learning a lot more about what you do and maybe seeing some of your members come along to some of our sessions. I think that's us, Ricky.